Get to the next topic, and this time around we're looking at Dr. Kolawole Olanio, who is legal advisor to Amnesty International, has said that President Muhammadu Buhari has shown stunning disregard for the rule of law and human rights, ignoring Nigerian judges on at least 40 occasions. The London-based lawyer who accused the president of treating judges with disdain also questioned the sincerity of Buhari's anti-corruption fight. He said, and I quote, "It's hard to overstate the significance of this disregard of court orders, not just for the operation of the rule of law, but also effective respect for constitutional and international human rights, such as freedom of expression, peaceful assembly, association, and access to information. Yet, Buhari is carrying on irrespective of human rights and the rule of law. Anytime the courts have told Buhari's government to do something it doesn't like, it has refused to obey it." Even Buhari's Attorney General, Abubakar Malami, once said, "The rule of law is what the authorities determine it to be. Yet, it should never be right for the government to obey the court as a matter of grace. Buhari has to obey the court as a matter of necessity. If Nigeria is ever going to comply with its international human rights obligations and commitments, the government has to begin to show respect for Nigerian judges." End of quotes. All right, here we are, Prince Chilaka.
You know, each time we put the Nigerian judiciary against the executive, I laugh. What we have playing out in Nigeria is the many years of the betrayal of the judiciary to the Nigerian people. The corruption in the judiciary is what is playing out. We can't keep our mouth shut about it. When the judiciary keeps running to the executive for pittance, collecting bribe here and there, and all of that, how do you expect judiciary to respect them? How do you expect the executive to respect them? The judiciary should be on its own. It's an independent arm of government. But unfortunately in Nigeria, where it's been difficult. It's not. When people say Buhari, has not been obeying court order, I laugh. It is not the duty of Buhari to obey the court order. It is the duty of the Minister for Justice. He should know better to advise Mr. President to say, we must obey this. You see, what is happening with the presidency is also happening in the states. How many of the state governors are obeying court injunction? How many of them? So it boils down to the constitution we have. That document is the problem of this country. We must say the truth the way it is. That document, we need to sit down as a people and decide what works for us, not what is foisted on us. When we have a document that we will call, this is our own constitution.
Let me jump in here. I know you always make reference to, the constitution and all. Are you saying the 1999 constitution in its entirety or parts of the constitution?
It's a lie.
In its entirety is what I don't want.
Okay.
It's not only me, but a lot of Nigerians don't want it. There's so much power concentrating at the center. So Mr. President has so much power to himself. The governors have so much power to themselves. It shouldn't be like that. This is democracy. A constitution that does not give room for referendum, that does not give room for restructuring, that does not give room for people to sit on the round table and negotiate, then something is wrong with that document.
That's it.
Yeah, the lawyers said dead on arrival. The first issue we have is falsehood there. We, the people of Nigeria, who are the we? Themselves, who are lawyers, who are learned. We are not learned, they say we are educated. If the matter goes to court, that statement alone is enough to nullify the totality of the constitution. We were not there. We didn't say anything, we didn't contribute anything. That's a part. But then two wrongs cannot make it right. If the officers of the judiciary are corrupt without warrant the president not to obey any law or any instruction, or any directive,
court order
given out, let them obey that court order first before complaining. It is when you see the fox comes to catch a hen, you first of all drive away the fox before blaming the my opinion is that it's more than 40 court orders he has disobeyed. Not only himself, even down to the governors. They choose the ones they will obey and ignore the one. Especially, you see, why our Senate are somehow incapacitated, they made themselves, because they cannot come out plainly to say, President, you are in error. Our judges cannot say, we will not allow this, because he who plays a piper, who pays a piper, because some of them were picked by him. The Chief Justice of the Federation, who is he? The Chief Judge of the Federation, the one in Supreme Court, what is his name, Abakar, was a classmate of the president. And you don't expect him to disobey the president or to say, oh God, this is wrong. You see, a man closes his eyes at the fault of his wife. That's what is playing out. So the president has committed so many blunders. Disobey court order, not on 40 is on the lower side. It's more than that. But why they cannot stand, even while the Nigerian Bar Association cannot stand, some of them have soiled their hands. So they are not bold. They become totally bulldog. But unfortunately, we have found ourselves in this manner, that a whole court order, they said, even though it is customary court order, must be obeyed until it is set aside. But unfortunately, how many orders have been disobeyed by the president? Even individuals, even police. Look at our friend that has been there for how many months. The court say, this is the condition, and he has met it. And the DSS said, those coming to obtain his release what protesters and things like that, they can. Is that the instruction? When he missed this condition, release him. He met it. We are expecting for Jesus Christ to come so that to hand him over to him. It's nonsense. It's arrant nonsense. So what we are saying that when Amnesty International, just like we are coming to that, when Amnesty International carry their survey, they are independent organization. They don't look at their face. They say it's as it is, no matter what is involved. But it is left for you and I. We as people of Nigeria, what do we do? We keep on complaining. What have we done? The lawyers are there. The student seniors are there. Other market, how many of them have said, today we must protest against disobedience to the court orders? Nothing. Because of fear of porridge.
Okay, Mr. Shokpito.
Well, it's a pity about this issue of the disobedience of court order. I want to particularly talk about the Dasuki case.
Okay. Because
the president really expressed pain at what happened. But Dasuki was the, I think it was National Security
Advisor.
Yes. And then there was money that was voted for equipping our security apparatus, which money was stolen and looted. And not only that, these same people who stole the money court-martialed this because the money that was supposed to equip them, they didn't have adequate arms. So they tried to try to save themselves from
micromanage, the situation.
Boko Haram, and they were now accused of desertion and sentenced to death. The same people who looted all the money. That was the type of thing that the government was. The president was very concerned about. He's the chief of staff. The commander-in-chief, and he saw young people being killed by Boko Haram because they didn't have adequate. Because they were not adequately armed. So these are the things. But then, since the international community has promised to help us with these people, I believe that the government owes it a duty to obey court orders. Even the Dasuki person, if he please, we can get the Interpol to bring him back to us. We saw the case of the pensions funds man who was eventually arrested after Iran. So the government owes it a duty to obey court orders. That's the only way we can have sanity in the system. Otherwise, we have chaos.
Okay. All right. Anybody else wants to say something? Let's go
I think with what
feedbacks
Oga has said there, granting him bail does not amount to freedom. It's a temporary freedom.
Yeah.
But what you are saying, what every Nigeria is saying, obey the court order that says set him free temporarily until he is convicted. Not only the courts in Nigeria, the ECOWAS court also said, look, grant this person bail, and he has met all the conditions. You say you are holding him based on national interest. Which national? You can't be holier than Pope. We, the masses, we have suffered the lawlessness of these leaders. But okay, some of those people that benefited, are they not the same people in one particular political party? They are there. They were here the other time. They've not come. All you that are heavy laden, I will give you rest. They've now switched over to this place where one particular party has said that I am the savior. All says forgiven.
Okay.
Talking about this too, and also I'm going to just add to what Mazia just said. It brings us back to our political system. A political system that allows me to win election on the platform of one party, and then I decamp to another party, and I still hold on to that position is wrong. This is where the problem is. The politicians are playing us. They're looking at us and they're using us to play pawns, and all of us are dancing to the gallery. That's what we found. Okay. Because I want to win an election, I'll decamp from this party, I go to this party, I win the election, I come back to this party, and the fact that people will decamp and all of a sudden their sins are wiped away is also a problem. It shows that the government is not fighting corruption, and that is because it's not fighting corruption, it is finding difficult to obey court orders.
Okay, Patrick is here again, and he says, Adelafo. So what do you guys expect? Court order, call, obedience, need. We all saw it coming, but the powers that be did what they know how to do best due to their selfish interests. We ain't seen nothing yet, as Americans do say. Okay. Okay. All right. Top of the day to you all. Salome Abo's gruesome murder was really pathetic. Patience, have you wondered why Nigerians behave abroad? Because they have government structure and institutions that work. Those that handed over the 1999 Constitution to us, and all political players are fraudsters. Thank you. Engineer Rotimi sent that one in. All right, this other one says, Patience, can you tell me why you and your guests are shying away from the truth in what happened in Kogi with respect to violence and burning the woman leader? Hit the nail at... I was not in Kogi State.
No, but we're not shying away from it.
What do you want me to say?
Condemn it. And I said both APC and PDP
should be disqualified.
You want me to name someone, when I'm not sure of my... Yes. But no, I can't do that, So, but we've discussed this issue. Everybody condemned the Kogi election so far. Even the international observers, condemned that elections. But if the electoral umpire, INEC still went ahead and
declared the winner,
then who am I?
The president has congratulated
exactly.
them.
So,
and yesterday they went to...
No. Congratulating them is not the issue. The issue lies with INEC. INEC must rise up to its responsibility of conducting free and fair elections. INEC should be able to tell Nigerians, this election is marred by violence, and as a result of that, we are cancelling.
And
not disqualifying, not granting somebody victory, and you say go to the tribunal. No. It is totally unacceptable.
Okay.